Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Zesty Thoughts with your host, Anabla. This is episode 64. I hope everyone is having a wonderful week. I hope your November is great so far. I am bundled up, like completely bundled up right now. I got a blankie. I have some hot tea. Shout out to, this is one of my thirsts of the week, the Trader Joe's Winter Wake Up Tea. I would like to find an alternative blend that doesn't have like natural flavors added. So if anybody has like a black spiced tea blend, possibly even loose leaf, I am trying to get back on my loose leaf game. So if anybody has recommendations for a loose leaf black tea, like spiced black tea blend, that is the vibe. I'm basically also I'm trying to attempt the 90-minute caffeine rule. So far, it has been a little bit of a struggle. I have, for the last few years, kind of been reliant on caffeine right after I wake up. And I'm just noticing that when I do get to sleep, even when I sleep a full night, like 7, 8 hours, I do feel like I'm not very well rested. In combination with that, I have a huge crash like midday. So I was kind of doing some research online, and most of the articles talking about the infamous midday crash were like, basically just like wait to have caffeine, girl, like wait to have it. So basically, immediately after waking up, your body's adenosine levels are at their lowest and your cortisol levels peak as soon as you wake up or like at that around that time. So caffeine basically can disrupt the body's natural wake up process. Um, so if you have caffeine, it prevents, like right off the bat, it prevents your body from clearing that adenosine. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Adenosine on its own, um, in response to that cortisol surge, because apparently that cortisol surge like causes that adenosine like elimination. Apparently, that's like part of the process. So if you let your body just do that naturally and then have caffeine after, it's like actually more effective. And then once the caffeine starts to wear off, there isn't adenosine left over because the adenosine is like what makes you tired. It's like what tells your body to go to sleep or like something to do with sleep process. So if you have caffeine and it blocks the like breakdown of that or the elimination of that, reduction of it, whatever the process that's happening, then like once your caffeine wears off, that is still there. And so it will make you like extra sleepy, apparently. So I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna do 90 minutes minimum. If there are days that I can push it to like 120 minutes. There are some studies that say that it could take that long. So I'm going to start with 90 minutes, see how it goes. And then if I can, in the long run, push to that 120 minutes, hopefully maximize that. I just, knowing that that gets in the way of that natural like process, um, like that bugged me as soon as I like learned that. So I was like, okay, maybe I should like let my body do its thing, delay my caffeine intake a little bit and see if it's a little bit more effective, basically. So I'm having my first cup of tea for the day, my winter wake up, and so far it's pretty good. I definitely just like really I'm not a morning person at the end of the day. So it's okay, it's totally fine. I'm trying to see if I can like change that. Basically, I know that like half of it is like the attitude that I have towards the morning. I've just never been like a fan of doing anything important or like needing really good mental clarity like in the morning. I just like have not had good success with that essentially. Like 8 a.m. classes in college were not the vibe. And yeah, just all in all, I'm like not a huge morning person. Basically the only thing I can do like immediately in the morning after I wake up is like get dressed and go to the gym. But trust me, there have been days, low key Monday, when I was on the elliptical, I was fighting the urge to go to sleep because I actually did have caffeine, ironically enough. I had coffee Monday morning on the way to the gym, hopped on the elliptical, and I did 45 minutes on the elliptical, and it literally took probably half of that time, a good 20 minutes at least, for the coffee to actually kick in, and I swear to God, usually when I'm on the elliptical, I go hands-free, or I'll use, like, the hand things, but, like, sometimes I just go hands-free because I feel like it's, like, works my core better and it, like, helps with balance. I'm trying to, like, train and, like, get my balance better. So, usually I'm hands-free, but on Monday, I was so tired. I was literally gripping the railing, heavy-ass eyes, just, like, trying to stay awake. It was pretty rough, I'm not gonna lie. The girl next to me was probably like, "What are you doing? Go back to bed," you know? But I had to get the workout in. Anyway, so that's my goal, essentially. I'm trying to, like, fix my sleep hygiene, essentially, like, buzzword. I'm trying to fix my sleep hygiene. I'm trying to, like, get it better. I'm trying to, like, kind of fix my routine as a whole, because I might be having a change in schedule in the new year. I don't know yet. But yeah, essentially, I'm trying to, like, figure everything out. I'm trying to just, like, take care of myself better. That's kind of been the theme of this week. That's kind of, like, the dub of this week is me actually, like, diving into, like, doing more research and really taking the necessary steps to, like, take better care of myself. So that's what I've been working on, y'all. I have been in such a great headspace. I love winter. I love, like, fall, transition into winter. Believe it or not, even though I do live in California, there are some really pretty trees in my neighborhood that are actually showing colors. Like, I don't want to hear it from anyone that there are no colors in California. That is like like so far from the truth. It's not even funny. I guess like Los Angeles, it's kind of like relative to like the trees in your neighborhood or like what kind of neighborhood you live in, you know, it's, like, so industrialized and, like, kind of, like, cold and, like, anti-nature in so many parts of LA, but then there are parts of LA that are, like there's so many, like, hikes and, like, so many obviously, we're, like, near a bunch of mountains, so I think that's just, like, a misconception for people that, like, haven't really seen the diverse ecology of, like, California and Los Angeles, and, like, LA doesn't even touch other parts of California. Obviously, like Northern California, Central California, it's like, girl. So we do get all the colors. It's just not as like it's not as extreme, you know, like parts of like the East Coast where like there are certain trees that are native to those areas that are just like the stereotypical like color changing leaves and stuff. But I do see that a little bit in my neighborhood, which is like, ooh, it just makes me feel like so giddy and like I feel like I'm in touch with the season. And I love cold weather. All of my favorite clothes are for cold weather. Ironically, even though I've like been born and raised in Southern California, all of my favorite clothes are winter clothes. So I love that I am basically going to be able to transition into that part of my closet. I've never really gotten into the habit of like actually physically rotating clothes in my closet so that like the most applicable clothes to the season are like most accessible to me, if that makes sense. I guess I've also just never really had that much clothes. Um, which I guess is probably relative, maybe compared to some people I have, like, a lot, um, but, like, I think in college, I used to have, like, way more clothes than I have now because I always had walk-ins, like, walk-in closets in college, and I don't have a walk-in now, so I just have, like, limited space. I'm not, like, shopping excessively. I would say my clothing shopping like, partial addiction probably peaked in college, and I've just been much more, like, frugal and much more intentional with my shopping, I would say, since then. So, I'm not really, like, investing in pieces as often, um, because I'm pickier, low key. I kinda, like, don't like shopping. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but if you're, like, really picky with clothes and you have, like, a very particular vision, I feel like it makes it harder to shop. I feel like it's just very time consuming. It's like so much work for like such a very, very, very small reward. That's why I guess I prefer thrifting because it's like more fun to find random shit that's not really as curated. I feel like when you're in department stores, it's kind of like curated and there's something about that that isn't as, like, exciting or fun, but when you're thrifting or shopping secondhand, it's kinda like you can find, like, random statement pieces that, like, don't you're not shopping by style or by, like, anything specific. I feel like that's more fun to just rummage through random stuff and be like, "Oh my god, this is so cool," and buy something because it catches your eye and has functionality as opposed to, like, shopping at a department store where, like, things I feel like usually are organized or displayed based on, like, functionality. Also, like, department stores will have stuff, like, based on season, and sometimes it's kinda like, "Well, I don't wanna, like, right now, for example, I have enough winter clothes, like, there's no part of me that needs to go anywhere to buy any long sleeves, any coats, anything like that, but I literally never have enough, like, summer clothes, like tank tops and tops and short sleeve shirts and, like, graphic tees. I never have enough of those, and I just don't have enough that I, like, really am in love with. So, going to, like, a department store now, like, what am I'm not gonna be able to invest in stuff like that because it's just not in season. It literally won't be there. But if I go thrifting, I can get that shit year round. So, like, that's another, like, pro in my book, from my point of view, of thrifting is because you can shop for any season, any time of year, which is cool, and I just think it's more fun. Like, you can find little statement pieces that really inspire you, and yeah, I love it. Anyway, a few segments for today's pod. One of my thirsts for the week, I am actually not done watching it, but I watched the first episode this past week and I was literally like so sucked in, like unbelievably sucked into the show. It's on Netflix. It's called The Beast in Me. It it stars Claire Danes, and I feel so bad. I do not remember the male actor's name, but he's so twisted in this girl. His character is nuts. I'm gonna look it up right now because I'm literally obsessed with the show. I think I'm on like episode 6 now. So it stars Claire Danes and Matthew Rice. That man is creepy. Now, every time I watch anything he's in, I'm just gonna think of this character essentially. But yeah, I really recommend y'all watching it. I'm not done with it yet. I will have like a full formal review in probably next week's episode when I'm done with it. But I did want to give it a little shout out because it's literally all I can think about. And it's traumatizing. Anyway, next segment, I have to make a follow-up comment regarding last week's episode. So last week's episode, I was talking about how when I meal prepped the previous week, I was using pepperoncinis in a recipe and I was like, wait, I want to make a pepperoni martini. And for some reason, I do not know why I thought that that was an original thought. Right, right. Why did I think no one has an original thought, y'all? No thought is original. Why did I think it was? Okay, because then after I finished the episode, literally that day I was Googling it. I was like, oh my gosh, pepperoni martini. Like, is that a thing? Tell me why. Pinterest, TikTok, everywhere I looked, there were like hella recipes. It's so much a thing that it has its own name, the drink. It's called a chini martini. And I'm like, bro, that's so embarrassing. How did I think that was original? So, I mean, of course it is. Like knowing the lore of like a dirty martini or like maybe even like a spicy martini, like a jalapeno martini, like of course a chini martini is the thing. But now I'm even more inspired to make it, right? I don't know if it's necessarily giving fall or winter, so I actually might hold off. I mean, I do really want to try it, but I feel like there are so many other fall and winter drinky poo recipes that I'm inspired by that are like they're giving like seasonal. So I think I might have to hold it off till maybe like the beginning of the year or spring even. I feel like it is giving spring. It's like bright and a little spicy. So I might have to wait for that because I don't really know that the vibes are aligned. I really thought I really thought that was such an original thought. I just like can't. I thought that was really funny. Okay, next segment of the pod. My clip of the week is this adorable little camping cat. The account is comfort underscore critter. And the cat's name is Aggie. It's so freaking cute. This one is not AI all. I've reviewed some like AI clips in the last few episodes. This shit is real. It's human. It's real life. And I just like was so enamored by this clip last week. It literally made me like fill with joy. So I just wanted to share it with y'all because I thought it was so cute and it really makes me just want to take my cat camping. My cat is not an outdoor cat, she's an indoor only cat. She sometimes will get curious and kind of like want to sneak out and kind of like explore, but we're really strict about it because we care about her safety and her health. And she is not leash trained or like harness trained. So like essentially if we could with the harness and leash, like we would want to, but we just already know based on her personality, it's not gonna happen. It's like a three-person job having to trim her nails, and she doesn't even wear a collar. She never basically never has. I think when we got her and her sister, we bought them collars and name tags, and they just wouldn't wear them. They were so resistant to it, so they basically have never even worn collars. I don't know in what world I could even imagine her ever wearing a harness, essentially. So, unfortunately, this is just a fantasy that I will only be able to live out through others, vicariously through others that have cats that they take on walks and like adventures. And I just wish that it was in the cards. So I'm going to show you all this clip. It's so freaking cute. Ah! Are you kidding me? The sweater and the cuddles. I mean, come on. That's all you could hope for when you're camping. Oh, by the fire. So cute. Oh, oh, so dreamy. Literally, that's all I want. I'm sorry, Chelsea, you're about to be harnessed and leashed. She's laying on my bed asleep right now. Girl, I know you're 15, coming up on your sweet 16, girl, but like we're about to harness and leash train you, girl, because I need that in my life and I know that you would love it and enjoy it. I don't know, y'all. I mean, she's a super senior. I don't even know if that would be a good idea. She's also like, on medication and stuff. I I think maybe that's a pipe dream, but I think it's so cute. I literally am obsessed with that video, so I hope y'all enjoy it. All right, y'all. Last segment of today's pod. I have an amazing ambient music album to share with y'all. I just discovered this artist. I had never heard of them before. I think it came up on my like recommended on Apple Music, and so far the new artists that I've found that have been recommended to me on Apple Music have been like basically a 10 out of 10. That's how I found Belle. That's how I found like the last ambient album that I found. It was Madeline Cocolas. That was also a banger. But this album was really, really like peaceful and so relaxing to me. I'm not normally one to opt for sounds like water sounds, raindrops, like that doesn't necessarily like relax me a ton. It doesn't really help me sleep. Like I know a lot of people find comfort in that and it helps them sleep, but I am used to like an air purifier or a dehumidifier because I live by the beach. I'm used to like noises like that are just like constant, that don't change, that don't have outliers. Um, which is one of the reasons why I really like brown noise. But this I really, really enjoyed. The artist's name is Anders Redin. I think I'm saying that correct. He's a Danish artist. This project is called Water Songs. It's 7 tracks and it's in the new age category, I believe, on Apple Music. But it is ambient music essentially. It's really, really nice. I do hope that you go check it out. Like I've said before, and I'll say it again, I added it to my meditation, sleep, spa playlist. This playlist is like turning into just a wonderful masterpiece for me. And I listen to it like basically at any time of the day if I just need to relax or if I need to like kind of center myself or if I'm having trouble sleeping and I kind of need something to like fall back on that will help chill me out, you feel me? So I will link that playlist again. I feel like I talk about it so much, I probably should just permanently link my like Apple Music profile in the pod description because I talk about and review so much music that y'all can just like jump in on it and enjoy it if you have Apple Music. I also have Spotify. I don't pay for Spotify, so I don't know, maybe I could, like, transfer the playlists to Spotify. I know that there are, like, websites I've used before to do that, to basically transfer playlists over, so maybe I'll do that and also share it on Spotify so y'all can enjoy. Alright, everybody, that is gonna wrap up today's episode. I have been a busy bee this week, so I don't really have much to talk about, but next week's episode is gonna be full of some beefy stuff because I have so much planned for the weekend. So I'll be back next week to recap all of it for y'all. I hope you stay cozy wherever you are in the world right now. And I've been looking at like stats low key for the pod, and I'm seeing all these people all over the world listening, and so it's been so amazing and motivating. Shout out to all my non-US listeners. I'm in the US, so I know majority of my listeners are going to be here, but I want to shout out all my non-US listeners and shout out to everybody who's subscribed here on YouTube. Thank you so much. We are literally, as I speak, 10 subs away from 7,000. So thank you so much to everybody who subscribed. It's like the coolest thing ever. We're only going up from here, y'all. So thank you so much again for listening and watching. And I hope you have a fun week. Stay safe, and I'll see you next week. Bye.